It's time for the history of
Sega!
It all goes back to the year 1940, where three men, Martin Bromley, Irving Bromberg, and James Humpert, who isn't pictured, helped form a company called Standard Games in Hawaii. They made and sold coin-op games primarily to the U.S. military. This later caused the company to rename itself Service Games to represent its consumer base. In 1951, the U.S. banned slot machines on military bases, so this prompted the company's departure from the U.S. In 1952, the company moved to Tokyo to sell its games to the American troops stationed there. They also changed their name to Service Games of Japan at this time. The Japanese branch would soon split into two parts, one of which went on to form Sega. Now there's also another man involved in Sega's creation. David Rossman was an American who started a photo booth business in Japan that grew to be recognized nationwide. He later used his contacts from this business venture to start his own coin-op business, thus becoming a direct competitor to Service Games. The two would later merge in 1965 and become Sega Enterprises. After the merge, the company's main focus was the selling and construction of jukeboxes. However, in 1966, the company's arcade game, Periscope, came out, and it was so successful it changed Sega's focus to gaming entirely. The company continued to expand its way into the arcade business. Sega would soon move back to the States in the mid-70s. They would then discover Atari and its hit Pong, which in turn inspired the company to start making video games. With time, they gained footing in the gaming market and entered the home entertainment scene in 1983 with the SG-1000, which may or may not be named after the Sega 1000 jukebox. The console was subpar with its sales, yet it established Sega as a contender in the market. In the mid-80s, Nintendo released the NES, and Sega decided to challenge it with the release of the Sega Master System in 1986. The console became the second most popular console at the time, and it allowed Sega to pass up Atari. With Nintendo being their main competitor, Sega launched an advertising campaign to jab at them. Slogans arose like "Sega does what Nintendon't." Sega also started developing a mascot to rival Nintendo's Mario. Sega would soon release the Mega Drive, or Genesis as it was called in the States, in 1989 and 1990 respectively, and on it, Sega's answer to Mario came to be. On June 23, 1991, the blue blur known as Sonic burst onto the scene. Sega and Nintendo would continue to battle throughout the 90s, yet Sega would soon fall from grace. Sega's first mistake was the Mega CD, an add-on to the Mega Drive, that was made cheaply and thus many problems occurred during production. Many saw the device and thought it had no reason to exist. The thing was a flop, and it garnered Sega a lot of negative publicity. Sega should have learned from this mistake, but they didn't. They made another device to extend the life of the console. The 32X, as it was called, took resources from Sega's next console, the Saturn. Many developers would soon be confused as to which platform they should develop for. The 32X had Sega take a major blow, and when the Saturn came out at the tail end of 1994, it was struggling to keep up with the competitors. Sony, the new kid on the block, soon started to dominate the market. Saturn was hard to develop for and soon faded away. In 1998, Sega tried to learn from the past with the Dreamcast. It was easy to develop for and had more power. This console seemed to beat Sony's PlayStation, but when the PS2 came out, Sega would soon fall into obscurity. With bad business decisions and struggle to keep up with the industry, Sega decided to pull the plug in 2001, when it stopped all console development. Today, Sega has been reduced to a shell of its former self. Sega has since become a third-party developer exclusively for its former rivals. And that is the history of Sega. Hello everybody, this video was a lot different from anything I've done before, so if you enjoyed it, please let me know. Also, if you have anything you want me to talk about, please put it in the comments down below. I have a few of my own ideas in the works, but I'd love more random stuff to discuss about. Thanks for watching.